Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the top performing ETFs that are available in the UK at the moment. So this is based on their 5-year annualized returns. So how have they done in the last 5 years? So for all of these ETFs, they have got 5-year annualized returns of between 20 to 30% a year, which is absolutely huge. I do hold a couple of these investments and I might be selling one of these investments as well, so I'm going to talk you through everything there. I also wanted to let you know that these ETFs are available across many different platforms, so I have double checked that they are available on Hargreaves Lansdown, Fidelity, Interactive Investors, Freetrade, Trading 212 and YouInvest with AJ Bell. They're also available with Barclays Smart Investor, who I have an investment ISA with. I also have an investment ISA with Fidelity as well. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on these ETFs, they should be available to you if you're using any of those different platforms. I'll also be giving you some information on the fees and ongoing charges for each of these investments because I know that's really important to you. So in this video, I will be sharing with you 6 different ETFs. 2 of them are very similar, so I will be saying which one would be my preference based on their results and fees. And yeah, I will be covering everything you might need to know if you want to invest in an ETF with a good historical performance. As always, historical performance is not always indicative of future performance, but it is something that I like to consider when choosing what to invest in. So the first one is the iShares S&P 500 Information Technology Sector. So the code for that is IITU. Its 5-year annualized returns are 26.70%, which is really strong, and the ongoing charge is very low at just 0.15%. As I said, this investment is available across all of those different platforms. So if you are looking to get more exposure to the technology market specifically and are looking for an ETF with low fees, this could be worth considering. I personally am not invested in this ETF because I have quite a lot of exposure to the tech sector already and I'm looking to diversify into other areas, but this could potentially be a strong choice if you're just starting out and want to start investing in a tech ETF. I will just say that these top ETFs are very tech heavy because the tech sector has had such an amazing performance over the last few years, but there are a couple that aren't in the tech sector as well. But the next 2 are tech ETFs. They're the Invesco EQQQ Nasdaq and the iShares Nasdaq as well. So both of these have done very well, coming in the 2nd and 3rd spots. So the Invesco EQQQ Nasdaq has had a 5-year annualized return of 24.60%, and the iShares Nasdaq has had a return of 24.51%. So of these 2, I am personally invested in the Invesco Nasdaq EQQQ, and that is purely because the fees are lower at 0.3% as an ongoing charge, whereas the iShares fees are 0.33%. And obviously those 5-year annualized returns have been impacted as well. So you're seeing higher 5-year annualized returns for the Invesco EQQQ Nasdaq than you are for the iShares Nasdaq. But again, they're very close. Now moving on to the next one. This is actually one I'm invested in myself and I'm actually currently considering what I want to do with this investment. It is the iShares Physical Palladium ETC. So it's an exchange traded commodity rather than exchange traded fund. But I thought I would include it in this video. It has got 5-year annualized returns of 22.9%, so very good 5-year annualized returns. However, the performance for this ETC has not been very good in the last year, and I'm going to go away and do some research on how I think this might perform in the future. So palladium is the precious metal that is often used in catalytic converters for cars. Palladium is used in petrol cars and then it's also used in hybrid cars. However, it probably doesn't have a function in electric vehicles, and with the move towards electric vehicles, I'm actually considering whether this is something that I want to stay invested in or not. So this is an example of where something has got incredible historical returns, but potentially might not have great future returns. So the reason that Palladium is not doing particularly well this year is because a lot of car production has either stopped or slowed down because of the ongoing chip shortage issue. So those cars that would be being produced with catalytic converters, which use Palladium, are perhaps not being produced at the moment. And I'm going to be looking at whether I think it could pick up, whether I think this might be something I might be selling. So the symbol for the iShares physical Palladium is SPDM, and the average annual charge, which I've taken from the Hargreaves Lansdown website, is 0.45%. So the next top performing ETF is the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. This is one that I'm personally holding and will hold on to into the future. Its 5-year annualised returns at 22.41%, which is really, really strong. It has quite a high ongoing charge of 0.65%. So when you compare that to an ongoing charge of, for example, the S&P 500 information tech sector with a 0.15% charge, that is considerably higher in charges. The symbol for this one is INRG, and for me, this is personally something that I want to continue to hold a long way into the future. This is not a short-term investment for me. None of my investments, to be honest, are really short-term investments, but I do kind of review them every 6 months to every year to decide if I want to make any changes. But generally, if I invest in something, it does tend to be for the long term. This is obviously focusing on the clean energy sector. It is available, as I said, across all those different platforms. So Hargreaves Lansdown, Fidelity, Interactive Investors, Freetrade, YouInvest, Trading 212, and Barclays Smart Investor as well. So widely available, and one I plan to hold on to into the long term. And then the final top performing one is the LNG Cyber Security ETF. So we've moved back into that tech sector again because it has performed so well. Its 5-year annualized returns are 20.01%, which is fantastic. This has got an ongoing charge of 0.75%, and its symbol is iSPY or ISPY, which I think is a really cool symbol for a cybersecurity company. So yeah, this might be worth considering if you're particularly interested in cybersecurity, or if that's an area that you particularly want to focus on. It's available on all those different platforms. For me personally, as I said, I have quite a lot of exposure to the tech sector already. I'm currently holding that Invesco Nasdaq EQQQ ETF already, which has got obviously a lot of tech stocks in there. So for me personally, I would rather hold that, which is more varied, than hold something that is quite specific, so the cybersecurity one. And also, as I said, because the fees for the Invesco EQQQ Nasdaq are only 0.3% versus 0.75% for this iSPY LNG cybersecurity one. For me, I personally am just going to stick with being invested in the Invesco Markets Nasdaq one. However, a 20.01% return is really, really strong, and I do personally believe that cybersecurity will do very well into the future. So if you like this video, please do subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.